It's time. It's time to purge the pick-me-shas. Hey, y'all. All right. Someone ended up sending me they emailed me, one of my subscribers emailed me and wanted me to talk about Emily King. I had no idea who Emily King even was until someone had emailed me. That's why I highly encourage you guys to email me and send a link to the content that you would like me to react to, because I'm always just in my own little world here in these content streets. I don't really like try to follow anything. The only pick me that I really know is just a girl in Pearl. So someone has shown me this creator. I've scrolled through enough. I tend to lose brain cells whenever I take in this type of content. And so I didn't watch much. And the reason why is because it only took about 5 minutes for me to get an idea of who this girl even is and what her message is. And then also who her demographic is that follows her, which is all men. So a lot of these reactions that you see are going to be 100% authentic because I haven't really watched any of this. So essentially what she does is on TikTok, she stitches content, that's more so from like women's point of view, as far as like, uh their disapproval of men, their disdain of men, and then she will stitch her pick me opinion. And then on her YouTube channel, she does get pretty personal on her YouTube channel, and I do want to get into that throughout this live because I feel as though the story that she gave, I didn't watch all of it, okay? So we're pretty much going to watch it together, but she did do a video where she explains why she is not married. And she used to be married. She actually was married for 12 years. And so I do want us to we're gonna, watch everything. I'm gonna react to what she's reacting to, and then at the end of this video, I am gonna show the video where she discusses why she is no longer married. And the reason why I feel like that is important is because women are the best consumers when it comes to the social media sphere. Women will buy courses, women will buy all types of things, but men will buy dreams. And this is what makes men such a good and easy target when it comes to pandering to them. And the reason being is because essentially all you have to do if you want to be a pick me content creator, all you have to do is just tell men that they're right. They don't do anything wrong. They're perfect. And so essentially that's what makes it very easy for a lot of these like trad wife, pick me content creators to gain a following when it comes to men, because they're not giving these men any value. They're just essentially telling them like, oh, you're right and you do nothing wrong. But their private life is the complete opposite. Like we see this with Pearl Davis, right? She says women shouldn't vote. She says that, men are superior. Men want a woman that's submissive, and Pearl has yet to be picked. So even in real life application, it's not working. Okay. Please do not forget to like the live, ladies. Okay. Go on ahead, press the thumbs up for me. That way we can get the engagement up and we can let YouTube know that that this video is good and to push this video out. And then also just to acknowledge the fact that you like the content. Okay. Based off of views, based off of likes is always going to dictate what more type of content that I do. So if you all don't like the content, I'm not going to be able to know if you want more of it or not. Okay, so please don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and get into this. We are going to start with some TikToks first. I'm just going to randomly pick a few from her TikTok and kind of go from there.
About relationship. A guy starts off by putting 100% in the beginning of a relationship, and over time that will slowly go down from like 100 to 95 to 90 to 80 to 85. And then you notice, and you only notice when it goes down to like 75 or 80%, and then you say something. And then when you say something, he puts back 5% effort and you're content. You're like, okay, he put in some effort, but it never goes back up to 100 or 90 or 95. It just goes from like that 75 to 80. And then it goes back down again to like 70. And then it goes down to 60. Long story short, it'll just go back down to 10% when it started at 100.
If a man does this, it is not because he has a problem giving effort. The problem he has is giving that effort, but not receiving any effort back. And of course,
Let's be real. I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. These pick me content creators, they never look like anything. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. They're never really attractive. Like, look at Pearl, look at Just a Girl, look at her. They never look like anything. So no wonder why they have to go out of their way to pander to men, because in most cases, this is the most attention that they're ever going to get. And this is, as I watched a few TikToks, this is always like her, you'll notice that this is like her shtick. So like when she's ready to stitch the video, she'll like slide in like she's fucking Tom Cruise from that one movie. She'll slide in and then stitch whatever the content is that she is doing. But on the subject of what she's talking about, we all know that men are not reciprocal. If men were so reciprocal, why did she get divorced after 12 years? Because she does mention the fact that finances were an issue. So if men are so reciprocal, why are you no longer married, and you're not going to get married again? Men always start at full sprint because they want to be able to hook you. They want to be able to get you enamored. So they're going to take you to the fanciest place. They're going to treat you the nicest. They are going to make sure that they have the expectations set up here. And then once they see you getting comfortable, once they commit to you, once they put a baby in you and you're now pregnant, they're going to reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. They do reduce the effort. And they do it based off of the fact that they believe that, I got her now, so I don't have to worry about, putting in all of this effort anymore because I got her. But let's see what else she has to say.
Of course, early on in dating, that man, he knows he's expected to give, give, give. And so he does that. But at some point, he has to feel like he's going to get some amount of reciprocation, because
So he's giving, 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 but aren't you giving your body? Aren't you giving him advice? Aren't you giving him your emotional labor? Aren't you expected to give him domesticated things such as cooking, cleaning, doing his laundry? Aren't you doing things such as being the main caretaker? So, you're the one that's majorly probably changing the diapers, waking up in the middle of the night. What more is she supposed to do to reciprocate? You want her to buy him a diamond ring too? You want her to propose to him too? What is it that women are not reciprocating? You want her to take him out on dates too, on top of everything else?
honestly, that man is just trying to figure out if you actually like him. And if
Okay, well, if the man was trying to figure out if a woman actually liked him, why would he be doing all of these things to begin with? Why would he be going above and beyond, knowing that he is doing something that he cannot maintain, to see if you actually like him? And this is the reason why I'm never going to believe when they say that men are not logical, because men will do shit like lead with money. They'll spend all this money on you, take you to the fanciest places, take you shopping, and then they say shit like, "Well, I want someone to love me for me." But you led with money. If you wanted someone to like you for you, you wouldn't fucking do any of this. You wouldn't be leading in with all of this money, all these experiences, all of these things. That's the reason why men know that they're not likable. Men know that they're not likable. So of course they're going to go above and beyond and like do all this stuff and like yada yada yada, simply because of the simple fact that they know that you wouldn't like them otherwise. So you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to lead in with something that could potentially get you used, or you do those things, you don't get anything reciprocated back, because the woman got to know you for who you really are, and she no longer likes you, aside from the fact that you did all those things for her. Oh my God, I am so glad we are talking about her. I unfollowed her yesterday. Girl, you've been following me this long and you just now unfollowed her. She's engaged, her second marriage now with kids. Oh, so she's engaged. I've been thinking to myself lately how she is such a pick me and panders to men. Yes, 1 second. It's hot in here. once I start talking and going on my rants, the temperature increases. And yes, please make sure you guys like the live. I don't know how many likes it's at. I have no idea how many likes it's at, but give me a second because I am going to go on YouTube and I am going to be checking to see where the likes are. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, we're at 24 likes, y'all. We're at 24 likes, y'all, and it's 52 people in here. Come on, we should at least be at 40 likes. Come on, y'all. Go on ahead and just press the button. Let us know that you're liking the content. Let us know. First video I saw, I knew she had picked me, defending men for not taking out garbage. And she claims it's on the basis of logic. She's like, well, men are always the logical gender. Men are always the logical gender. And it's like, in what world? Once we get the likes to 40, then I'll go on ahead and we can continue. In order for us for this to be a thing without me having to ask, we have to start just doing it. That way you guys will already know. As soon as you guys come in here into the live, first thing you need to do is go on ahead and like the thumbs up for me because I don't want to drag this on forever. Everyone is always on their best behavior when first meeting someone. This lady is acting like she is overly innocent and doesn't understand life. Exactly. All right, we're at 30 likes right now. 10 more, y'all. And now almost 60 people are in here. We can at least get to 40. Once we get to 40 likes, I'll continue. Majority of men are so redundant, far too many of them wandering around doing nothing productive. Exactly. All right.
You're not giving any effort back, he's starting to think that you don't. And so why should he continue investing in you if he thinks that you don't even like him?
At the end of the day, you can't convince a man that you like him if he doesn't like himself. If the man doesn't like himself, it doesn't matter how far above and beyond you go to reciprocate the effort that he's making. If the man doesn't like himself, your effort is going to be wasted. Most men are insecure, and that's where a lot of this comes from. There's a lot of men where they're with women and the women are doing things for them, and they're still questioning why the woman is even with them to begin with because they're so goddamn insecure. We saw that on Pop the Balloon with Mr. Olive Pants. Am I fine? I want to make sure that you look at me and you think that I'm fine. He needs reassurance that a woman is attracted to him. I'm not saying that that's bad, but if he does not feel as though he is attractive, it's not going to matter if she looks at him and thinks that he's fine, because he doesn't think that he's fine, or else he wouldn't be asking, or else he wouldn't be needing reassurance from her in the first place. I know she has a child, but someone said that she is engaged. But the last video that I had seen, how long ago was this video? Hold on, let me see. So this video was a year ago that I saw. And like I said before, I don't watch this creator often. So yeah, let's see
I'll tell you why he's single. He's single.
Okay, hold on.
I'll tell you why he's single. He's single because his ex never valued clear communication without the use of games or using his vulnerabilities against him. Trust became an issue.
This has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. You mean to tell me that the reason why men are choosing to be single, men are never choosing to be single. Let's make that very clear. Most men don't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm done with women. I'm done with women and I don't want to deal with women. They're obsessed with vagina too much for that to ever be a thing. They're way too obsessed with vagina for that to ever be a thing. Okay. They're never going to wake up one day and decide that. That's the first thing. The second thing, men are taught to be emotionally like bottled up. They're literally taught to not even open up with their emotions. So a lot of like men don't even want to go to therapy. Even if you're married to a man, even if you're married to a man and then like the relationship gets rocky, they don't even want to go to couples counseling. They don't even want to go to couples therapy. They don't even want to see a pastor if you all are closely tied to the church. And you mean to tell me that the main reason that men are deciding to be single is because there's no clear communication and all these games are played when their vulnerabilities are used against them? What's the vulnerability? What the hell is this large vulnerability that they have? Why that they got beat up when they were 13 years old? That a girl that they liked in 7th grade didn't like him back? That's usually what the dumbass vulnerability is anyway. Like, come on. They're not a lot of these men are not over here just giving you deep, profound revelations on something that they've just been holding in their whole entire life for this to even be a thing. Like, we all know this. You talk with other women, and what are women usually saying about men? He won't open up. He won't communicate. He won't talk to me. He won't let me know what's wrong.
Because he was lied to and disrespected. He was made to feel like anything that he did would never be good enough.
Because it's usually not good enough. Like, it's usually not good enough. A woman will literally do the dishes she will cook every single day, clean every single day. And the man will load the dishwasher once a goddamn week. And then you want to ask him to do more things around the house. And he's like, nothing's ever good enough for you. Of course, men are always going to think that what women are asking for, we're never satisfied or never pleased because the bar is in hell. The bar for themselves is in hell. So it's literally like pulling teeth for you to ask them to do something simple, and they feel as though you're asking the world of them. They feel as though, oh my God, I have to load the dishwasher. Just because you hate doing something so much does not mean that matches the effort that is actually being placed. Just because you hate doing something does not mean that you're giving as much effort, especially not comparing to the woman who's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing all this stuff. And you think that you're making her life exponentially easier by loading the dishwasher one time a fucking week. Women talk too much. So why would you tell her anything? Well, yeah, the thing about it is this: what are you doing? Even my father says that. My father says, well, women won't have to talk if men don't do anything. If you don't want your business talked about, quit doing shit that'll get your business exposed. You don't want to be dragged. You want to be dragged for being a cheater? Quit fucking cheating. You don't want to be dragged for being lazy? Quit fucking being lazy.
Because what he did do was never appreciated.
So pretty much essentially they want you to drop down to the ground and be like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh, oh my god. You're my king. You're amazing. You're a king. Oh, you did the dishes today. You did the dishes today after I asked for a whole entire month. Oh my god. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. I'm just I'm just so grateful. I'm just so lucky that to call you my man." That's how they're expecting you to that's what they want from you. When they do one thing, they do one thing right out of the 50 fucking things that they're doing wrong. They have a pass rate of 30% of all sectors in the relationship, and they want you to be happy. They want you to be happy with the 30% that they're giving you. They want you to call you their king and be submissive to them when they are literally only doing 30% of what the fuck you want them to do. And you're asking them the same thing that you're doing. That's what the men don't understand. You're not asking them to do anything that you're not doing. So it's only fair. It's only fair that you ask someone of something that you are able to do. The bar is in hell. The bar is in absolute hell.
And not only was it not appreciated, it was criticized far too often. And at the time, yeah, he thought that he could change a few things to make her happy. But then he found out pretty quickly that she was never going to be happy.
You guys, we've all been a child, right? We've all been a child, right? And you remember when your parents would ask you to do something. So they ask you to do like a chore, right? And let's just say that the chore is for them, they ask you to clean your room. How many of y'all thought that cleaning your room meant that you could throw all your shit underneath the bed? You could just take everything and put it in your bed, and then take everything and put it in your closet. And that's your parents come in the room and it's like, oh, well, the room is clean. Let me look under the bed, and then let me open up the closet. Are your parents going to be happy that you fucking clean the room, and they're going to be happy and consider that cleaning the room? No, the fuck they're not. And that's how men are. They'll technically do it. The room will be clean, but the room technically isn't fucking clean. You've dumped everything for it to be hidden. And men expect for you to sit here and be like, oh my God, I walked in and the room was clean. Oh my God, I walked in and it's just so wonderful. And then they get mad at you for criticizing the fact, well, the shit's not clean, because everything that was dirtying up the place, the clothes, the water bottles, the wrappers, all you did was just put it underneath the goddamn bed and throw everything else in the goddamn closet. So if your parents wouldn't expect that, if your parents wouldn't allow that, what would make you think that a woman that you claim to love would ever expect that? Would ever not criticize that? Come on. Is your boss at work? Is your boss not going to criticize you when you don't do something to completion, when you don't do something to the ability that they know that you are doing it at? No. So why should women have to sit here and not be able to criticize you for doing something wrong, doing something incomplete, doing something far below the ability that a human is capable of doing? And then they want to get mad when they get called immature.
Giving in just became a habit because she wanted to control him rather than love him for who he was.
And this is always the talking point. And to be quite honest, I agree with this talking point, but not in the way that is going to benefit men. The reason why I expose male nature on this channel is so that you can look at men for who they really are. You can really have the veil be lifted and you can see them for who they are. You can accept men all day long, but acceptance does not mean you have to be in proximity to men. And this is what men don't realize. Men say, well, we want someone to accept us. We accept you for being liars, for being selfish, for being immature, for being lazy. We accept all of that. We're not asking you to change it anymore. No one's asking you to change it anymore. And because we accept you, we just don't deal with you. It's like they want you to accept them and then tolerate them. And that's only going to be benefiting them. They literally want you to sit here and be happy with the fact that they're doing the bare minimum. And then you got this hooligan, Cindy Who over here pandering to them. Over here trying to make them feel validated in what it is that they're asking for, as if it makes any logical sense. It doesn't make any logical sense. There would be no benefit. There would be absolutely no benefit. You're accepted. You're just not accepted with us. You can go find a man to do this with. You can go to another country to go do this with a woman. Men always say, it's a billion women out here. We got a billion women out here. Okay, go to those women that will accept your below bare minimum effort.
Him prioritizing her and doing things for her time and time again became a one-way street.
Okay, so you mean to tell me he's not expecting sex throughout the relationship? He's not expecting someone to listen to him throughout the relationship? So everything is just one-sided. He's paying all the bills. He's doing every single thing. And at the end of the day, she gets to be home and be a bump on a log and not do anything. She gets to turn him down for sex every single night. She gets to not cook. She gets to not clean. She gives the baby to a babysitter and doesn't care about the babies at all. No. Women want to be men and have too many men traits now. That's the problem. 100%. Men got it easy. We want to be y'all. Women want a wife now. Women want a wife now. Y'all have it easy. Y'all got it made. We do want to be men. We want to be selfish. We want to cheat. We want to not give a fuck about other people's feelings. We want to do what's best for us and for our interests. You goddamn right we want to be men. You goddamn right we want to take on male traits. You goddamn right. Y'all gave us the playbook. Y'all gave us the playbook.
His peace was constantly sacrificed without any kind of reciprocation. So let's be clear, he's not single because something's wrong with him.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Especially once men reach a certain age. Men over 40 who aren't married, I'd actually say 35. Men who are 35 plus, not married, no children, something's wrong with them. Something's wrong with them. They're either something's wrong with them mentally. So they're mentally delayed, they're autistic, they're broke and very unattractive. The both have to be combined, broke and unattractive. Or they don't have game. So they don't know how to manipulate. They're ugly and broke, and something is wrong with them mentally. Because how are you still single in a patriarchal system? How are you still single in a system that literally was created for you to find a woman? Religion created for you to find a woman. Capitalism created for you to find a woman. Reproductive rights created for you to find a woman, and you still can't find a goddamn woman. Every single thing has been designed by a man for a man, and you still couldn't find no one to marry. You still couldn't find no one to give a baby to. Because I know at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you being picky. Nothing to do with you being picky. It doesn't work the opposite way for women, because women have more to lose. Women have more to lose. If you have a child, whether you say married to that man or not, it's your child. You're going to have to be the one that's going to have to take care of the child. If he goes out cheating, he's going to put you at risk for a STD. If you guys decide that you're going to get a divorce, in most cases, you are going to be leaving and you're going to be worse off, because especially if you have children, you're not getting alimony. Alimony is only awarded 3% of the time. The average man makes $65,000 annually. So there is no way that this man will have enough money in order for him to take care of you and financially take care of you and your child during the time when you are no longer with him during the divorce. So it's not the same for women, because women have a lot more to risk. A lot more to risk.
Single because he thought he loved and cared for a woman that didn't really love him for who he was. She was just using him.
Men always think that someone's using them, but you're useless. Men literally think that someone is always using them. For what? What are women using you for? Annual salary is $65,000. The common male is not emotionally intelligent. A lot of y'all don't even know where the clitoris is. A lot of y'all got erectile dysfunction. A lot of y'all can't last no longer than 5 minutes in the goddamn bedroom. A lot of y'all don't have no dick discipline and don't have any sense of security within yourself to stay loyal to one woman. What are we missing out on? What are we missing out on? I got AAA if my tire go flat. I could call a plumber. I could call an electrician. So everything that you do on a physical level, that can be outsourced. I can pay for someone to do that. What is specific? Oh, and even the protector. I could carry a piece of steel. I could have a weapon. So what is it specific to a man in a relationship that will make you so perfect where you're being used? The reason why you're being used, the reason why you feel as though you are being used, the reason why you feel as though that you are being used is because you don't like the conditions under which a man created for a man, because the nature of a man is lazy. The nature of a man does not want to do anything. Look at a lion versus a lioness. Who goes out and hunts? The lioness does. She hunts while also having to make sure that her children, her cubs, are taken care of. Her cubs are in a safe space. So she has to be the protector for her cubs. She has to be the provider for her cubs. And the lion does nothing. The lion does absolutely nothing but fuck all day and fight other lions so that no one can fuck on his lioness. The male is nature by lazy. This is why they feel as though they're doing so goddamn much for you, because if they had it their way, they wouldn't do anything. Men hate the idea that that's patriarchy assigned them being protectors and providers. They hate it because it's not who they are. It's not who they are. Now, first of all, this is a coffee date. This looks like a coffee date. That looks like the Whataburger. That looks like the Whataburger sign. But first off, this is a coffee date. So she already went wrong there. She already went wrong there. This man didn't want to pay $13.99 to even. This man only wanted to pay $13.99 to see you. So you already should have known that this was going to happen, but okay.
Oh, I'm really sorry to be the one to tell her this, but he probably has not skipped out on their date. He's probably fighting for his life in the bathroom.
Fighting for his life doing what? Fighting for his life doing what? Money is king. We learned that from Hugh Hefner, the owner of Playboy, who kept 20 plus women at all times. But you don't have Hugh Hefner money. That's why you're in my chat room. If you had Hugh Hefner money, you wouldn't be watching this live right now. The average man makes $65,000. Y'all don't have Hugh Hefner money to have a ton of women around. In y'all's mind, in you guys' mind, you all have cognitive dissonance. Y'all really think that y'all are Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Y'all really think that in your mind, y'all got money. Like, what are you talking about? This is why the men, they always want to piggyback off of a wealthy man. You aren't wealthy. You aren't wealthy. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your bank account. Let's talk about your net worth. Let's talk about your assets. You're a truck driver. You make $150,000. You make $150,000 and you got lot lizards. You got lot lizards to choose from.
I'm here, okay? I'm not going anywhere.
Men absolutely want and they need this, but you know what's worse than not giving this to him? It's actually giving this to him and then not standing by your word. You disappear. You change how you think of him. And men, unfortunately, they continue to experience this where they are vulnerable finally with a woman and that woman takes advantage of it. They either think differently about that man after they hear about his vulnerabilities, or they just hold on to it and they use it against him later on down the line, which unfortunately causes that man to have issues with opening up with a woman and being vulnerable with a woman ever again. So I'm telling you right now, if you do not see that man being in your future long term and he has a vulnerable moment like this, be honest with him.
The vulnerable moment is never worthy of taking seriously. I'm just here to chat like everybody else. Why I gotta be the victim? Because you're not making any good talking points. You're not making any good talking points. Thank you. They need to be vulnerable with a therapist or be vulnerable with your homeboys. It's always the women. It's always that the woman has to be the person that you have to be vulnerable to. For what? For what? Why can't you talk to this about your homeboys? Why can't you talk to this about a therapist? Why does it have to be a woman that you are vulnerable with? Because the issue is that it will be shit from the third grade. You'll be a 30-year-old man and you have shit from the third grade that you're still upset about and you haven't told anyone about it. So it's the third grade and now it's snowballed from the third grade into you being a 30-year-old man. And now all of a sudden you meet someone and you're going to dump everything on her from the third grade until what's happened to you now as a 30-year-old man. And she is supposed to just be a robot and not have any feeling about this. And not look at you and be like overwhelmed with everything on top of everything else that you are expecting from her. Right. Talk to your dad. Talk to your mom. Be vulnerable to Jesus and your therapist. Exactly. Women have to take care of enough people. Okay. Women have to be emotionally there for children and for other people. Y'all are men. Okay. Y'all are men. Y'all can't possibly be that. I thought y'all were the leaders. If y'all are the leaders, why do men need to rely on women for your emotional stability? How come y'all can't lead yourself back to being emotionally stable? How come y'all can't lead yourself back to getting your own peace? Why does it always have to be on a woman? I thought y'all were the dominant gender. I thought y'all were the better gender. I thought y'all were the independent gender. So if that's the case, how come you can't rely on self for all of these things?
Be honest with me. What is the real reason why you're single right now?
I think I'm going to speak for all men in this video, and I'm going to do that by using a flow chart of what has happened to me.
So I'll tell you the first reason why he's single. This kid reached puberty 13 minutes before he made the video. That's the first reason. Have y'all noticed? So this is my theory. If you have done any research, you will know that the Y chromosome is it's slowly getting eradicated. And within the next million years, they predict that the Y chromosome will be gone, which means that in the next million years, men will not be in existence. That is what they're predicting. And I believe that we're slowly starting to see this happening. And the reason why we're slowly starting to see this happening is because nature is slowly trying to make women be unattracted to men by making them look like this, talk like this, and be sassy. Nature, because the men don't look as attractive as they did back in the day. Let's just be honest. They look way, way better as you go further back. And they're looking more like women. They're looking more feminine. They're acting more feminine. They eating all them chicken wings, drinking all that Hennessy. They got all this estrogen up in their water.
So let's jump right in. So here's little baby us. Okay, and then at some point in our childhood, we're going to go through something that's going to happen to us, which is going to then cause us to bottle up our emotions and learn to.
Like I said, I'm just scrolling through the TikToks. What did we just talk about? What did we just say? Men will literally have something happen from the third fucking grade and bottle it up until they're goddamn 30 years old and then find a woman and then want to go on ahead and just dump everything onto the woman because you chose to bottle it up. No one told you to bottle up your feelings. No one told you to bottle up your feelings. The therapist is available to men and women. Other people in the world are available to men and women. Because as women, we have our own issues. So the reason why we look at men differently when they want to be emotionally vulnerable is because we don't take what you're being emotionally vulnerable about seriously. Because what women usually are going through pales in comparison to what men have gone through. I'm not saying that men don't have horrible experiences. I'm not saying that men don't go through things such as abuse or being touched on or being beat up and stuff like that. I am not saying that. But at the end of the day, most of the time, what the men are complaining about was that they got picked on when they were in 6th grade. I was watching the beginning. I was starting to watch Love is Blind yesterday, because I do plan to do some videos regarding Love is Blind and my thoughts. And the one guy was talking about how he was picked on. He said he'll never forget that in high school he was picked on, and he had acne, and he was fat, and he was overweight, and a girl, he tried to talk to a girl. He tried to ask a girl out, and the girl laughed at him in front of his face, and then all her friends laughed. Okay. And we've all been there before. That's the growing pain of rejection. That's a part of life. We've all been rejected. We've all been laughed at. What do you want? Like, you making it seem as if it's some profound thing. Not to say that that's not traumatic, but come on, how much sympathy do you want for an experience that 99% of the population in the world has gone through?
Deal with it. Then, somewhere years later along the way, we're going to meet pretty girl number one. Pretty girl number one is going to make us feel trust again, in love and cared for, which will then lead us to open up about our emotions. Okay? And once time goes by and you spill all the beans to her, she will inevitably cheat on you. Okay? These little arrows here show how she's going to use all your insecurities and trust issues and mental health to then throw it back in your face and make you seem like the bad guy and make you feel like...
The issue is this: men always think that the work stops at their vulnerability, and it doesn't. This is where men get the game fucked up. This is where men just don't have a clear understanding of how things work. Because this is an example of the bar being in hell. And this is what I mean when I say that women have been conditioned to be too easily impressed by men. Women have been conditioned to be way too easily impressed by men, because guess what? It starts at vulnerability. It doesn't end at vulnerability, because at the end of the day, once you're vulnerable with someone, what are you doing to work through that? Men will tell you this stuff. They'll tell it to you, but the symptoms of it happening to them will still be present, will still be happening, will still be going on. So all they did was tell you, and they're not fixing anything that comes along with what happened to them. Because as a woman, you're thinking, okay, he was vulnerable. Now he's going to work on his trust issues. He's going to work on his insecurity. He's going to work on his emotional intelligence. And then they don't work on any of that. And then they wonder why men know that other men aren't emotionally intelligent. Other men know this. That's the reason why you'll have the dude in the friend zone waiting for your boyfriend to fuck up. Shoulder to cry on, dick to hop on. That's what that is. He can't be there for you. He won't be there for you emotionally. So in order for me to fill that void, let me go on ahead and let you cry and let you talk and let you see that I have an understanding of your situation, so that way I can take advantage of a moment of weakness and then I can have sex with you. So you're getting mad at women for cheating on you. How come you aren't mad at the man? How come you aren't mad at the man for playing the game and swooped on in where you were lacking? And men weren't raised to show emotions. You all weren't. And this is why I say all the time, men cannot pick, just like women. Men cannot pick and choose what parts of patriarchy you want. This is the issue. It's all or nothing. You want to be the protector? You want to be the provider? You want to be hardcore? You want to be heartless? Cool. Deal with the repercussions of you making those decisions of upholding patriarchy. You don't get to decide, I'm a protector when I feel like it. I'm a provider when I feel like it. I'm tough when I feel like it. No. This patriarchy was a system designed by men for men. It's a man's world. A man created this world. So at the end of the day, men need to decide what parts are they going to give it up or no? Most of them no, because patriarchy comes with too many benefits. Patriarchy comes with too many benefits for men to be able to thrive in this world much easier. Way, way, way easier. So men are never going to give that up. But you don't get to complain. You don't get to complain that patriarchy works out for you 80% of the time as opposed to the 100% of the time that you want it to work out for you.
Shit about yourself. Okay? That will then cause us to self-sabotage and be upset. Okay? We will self-sabotage every relationship going forward. Okay? We're going to go to alcohol and money and fast things like motorcycles. And in the very end, we will never trust a woman again. So that pretty much is the Spark Notes version of it. That lays out everything you guys need to know. Girls, hope you got it. Boys.
So it's women's fault. So essentially, it's women's fault that you didn't show up the way that you were supposed to show up, and then another man came in and filled the void, and now you're upset because of it. But guess what? Guess what? If a woman doesn't cheat, and then she tolerates all of this, and then she's a bitch all the time, you're going to complain about that. You're going to complain about that too. So you want her to be unhappy. You want her to be annoyed with you and then smile every day at you. You want her coochie dripping wet still. You want her to pack your lunch and do stuff for you while she's unhappy, while she's not getting anything from you. In what world? Men say that we're the delusional ones. In what world does that make sense? In what world is that not delusional?
Got your back. I'll see you next time.
I know.
And he said, boys, I got your back. Come on. It's giving DL. It's giving I like boys.
This to be true for so many men, but for the women that are listening to this, they will absolutely say, well, women go through a similar thing, right? They go through hurt where a man has hurt her, but that doesn't allow her to hurt future men back, right? But there is a key difference in the experience of what a man goes through and what a woman goes through. And so I want to highlight it because this man, he touched on it. And that key difference is that a man is made to feel like the bad guy. All right. Even though oftentimes it's either the woman or it's a combination, right? It's both of them. They both have parts within the demise of that relationship, but the man is made to feel like he's the bad guy. And it's very infrequent where a woman is actually made to feel like the bad guy, like socially, publicly, and just between the two of them. And that is why a man will go through the process of bottling up and he won't open up and he will turn to some of those other things that helps him cope. So yeah, ladies,
so that sounds like a patriarchy problem to me. That's a patriarchy problem to me. Like I said before, men want to uphold patriarchy. Men want to support patriarchy when it's convenient for them. And then when patriarchy doesn't benefit them, they want to opt out. Well, I want to be understood. I want to be heard. I want to be listened to. Okay, when you were in your fucking 20s, it was, oh, I'm about to play these bitches and I'm about to play the game and I don't have no heart and I don't care about these hoes and yada, 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 yada. Then once you start getting old, once your dick stops working, once the balding happens, all of a sudden you want to be vulnerable. All of a sudden you want to be emotionally open because you're no longer getting the perks of you're no longer getting the perks of patriarchy anymore. You're no longer benefiting off of them. What are the likes at? What are the likes at? We got 120 people in here. The likes need to be at 90. The likes need to be at 90. 67 is too low. 67 is too low. We need to be at 90. I even went in and liked it myself to get the likes up, but I'm not continuing until the likes are at 90. Actually, no. The likes need to be at 100, please. All you got to do is tap up the thumbs up. All you got to do is tap up the thumbs up. I'm not trying to have this drag on. I live in Vegas. You can get more hair, a bigger wood, and reinvent yourself. Of course. I lived in Vegas too. But you don't have as much leverage to do that like a woman does. Like, let's be honest. Can men leverage surgery like women can? Can men leverage getting surgery like women can? No, not to the same amount, because men don't have beauty. Women don't necessarily look at men and look at them as beautiful, because there's nothing necessarily beautiful on a man physically. It's really not. Like, yes, the muscles, cool. Yes, that's fine. But most men don't have muscles. After a certain age, the men start having a gut. And you a truck driver. You sitting down all day. Where are the likes at? All right, 78. Once we're at 100, I'll keep going. How many people are in the chat? 112. Let's get to 100, y'all. Press the thumbs up for me. Press the thumbs up for me. All I want from a man is money. Looks are an afterthought. Exactly. And that's the harsh reality that women won't tell men. That's the harsh reality that women won't tell men. Y'all don't look good enough to be around most of the time. Most of y'all ain't gonna get by on y'all looks. 99% of y'all ain't gonna get by on your looks. Only about 20% of y'all gonna get by on the money that you have. Which means 80% of y'all, no, which means 70% of y'all, 60% of y'all only gonna be able to get by off of you being able to be manipulative. Because most of y'all don't have a personality where we can like you for who you are. That's why you have to play the game. That's why you have to manipulate. Men know that if they showed up who they genuinely are, you think a man finna come up to a woman and be like, so yeah, I don't know how to keep my dick in my pants. I'm not clean. I don't pick up around the house. I'm not respectful. You know, you think a man finna his history and what he does as a man, you think he can lead with that and get a woman still? No. Once I get you pregnant, I'm just going to leave because I don't feel like dealing with the responsibility of having a child. And I still want to be able to go out and chase cat all day and have cat available. That's boring. I don't want to be there with the child. That's too boring. That's too much work. They're not about to tell you that. Okay, the likes are at 82. Get the likes up to 90. And we're at 93 people. We got some people dropped off, so I'll keep going.
I just asked a man on a date. Hey, scratch cornea. Retainer's still in. Fuzzy socks. Fuzzy socks. Acne flaring. Okay. What was the answer? Absolutely. How am I meeting men? At 10 a.m. in my own house on a Friday morning? Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get about 7 to 8 Doug fir trees. You're going to plant them in your backyard relatively close to the home. Okay, just like dangerously so. Wait about 100 years. Let those puppies really get up there. Eventually, they will just start decimating your gutter system on their own. Then you're going to call. You're going to be like, bro, you got to come out now. Who's going to show up? Mike. Mike's going to be like, hey, I'm all done. You want to check it out? Here's where it gets interesting. I go back there. I check it out. I go, excellent craftsmanship, sir. Well done. He goes, yeah. Thank you. If you need anything else, give a shout, ask for Mike directly, since I know what's going on. Say less, Mike. I was like, I do have a quick question though. If I were to reach out and ask if Mike was free for a beer sometime, he goes, absolutely. I go, okay, would you want to take my number? Bro, phone's already out, ready. He leaves within minutes. The text rolls through, and he doesn't even know like how unreal this glow up is about to be.
Ladies, this is what men keep on trying to tell you. If you hit on them, you will be successful 99% of the time. Because even when they are interested in you, there are multiple reasons why they may not make a move. But when you do that, you make the move, you give him a clear green light, that man will be all in. He'll have that date planned before even pulling out of that driveway.
I just asked him.
Let's look at the comments because the comments are pretty funny. The comments are pretty funny. Okay. Dude had an achievable task that she expressed gratitude for, got full authenticity immediately, direct communication, and he feels complimented by being asked out. That's like the dream. So my thing is this to men. You don't want a woman wearing makeup, right? You don't want like I have on no makeup, like no makeup, flaws and all. I have on no makeup. You don't want a woman wearing makeup because you want her to be authentic, right? So if you don't want a woman wearing makeup on the first date or when you see her, can you pull out your phone and show us your bank statement? I feel like that's fair, right? Because we're talking about authenticity. We're talking about, us not lying to one another and us being real. You don't want to wake up to a booger wolf the next morning. And I don't want to wake up destitute next to a man who told me that he owns multiple housing properties and makes all this money, yada, yada. So if I don't wear makeup, I feel like it would only be fair if a man showed me his bank, if he showed me his bank statement. Well, let's keep looking at the comments. Let's keep looking at the comments and see what they say. Well, he's not getting any surprises in the morning. He already synced it. The glow up is going to be that much more epic. I got asked on a date. We've been married for 17 years. I see this comment often on pieces of content that talk about this. Essentially, it just proves that men don't get any validation. Men don't get any validation. I could tell this girl is going to be awesome. She seems really fun. Pulling out of the driveway, def not pulling out of anywhere else. This is my issue with makeup. Why would you want a woman to not do the things that are synonymous to that are specific to a woman based off of gender norms, based off of societal norms? Why would you not want a woman to do something that is specific to what women do? Because at a very young age, little girls were given little makeup kits to play in makeup. And men have flipped this because men want to be the victim so bad. Men have flipped this into, oh, well, now you're hiding. Now you're not being authentic. Women have been wearing makeup since the beginning of time. Women have been wearing corsets to cinch their waist in since the 1600s. Women were getting their ribs removed to make their waist look smaller. So all this BBL, that, yada, yada, yada. Women have been going at lengths to make themselves look good for the male gaze. Y'all want to be with a man. Any man who doesn't like a woman that's wearing makeup, you want to be with a man. That's like a woman saying, if we're doing things off of norms, that's like a woman saying, yeah, I don't want a man with any facial hair. I don't want him to have any facial hair. I don't want him to have any body hair. Yuck, 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 yuck. I don't want him to have anything. That would sound crazy as hell to a man because we all know that body hair naturally and through societal standards is normal for a man to have. If a woman were to say that she wanted a man 100% clean shaven, no leg hair, no armpit hair, no facial hair, no nothing, you would assume she wants to be with a woman because that is specific to a man. And a lot of this also does come with men can't leverage their beauty, and men don't like the fact that women can. Beauty is currency. But guess what? Guess who created that? Guess who created that societal norm? Men did. Men were the ones that said, when you're beautiful, you'll get paid. That's just a law of human nature. People like things that are beautiful. Men did not get afforded with the gift of beauty. So essentially, a lot of this also comes from the fact that men don't want women to leverage their beauty at all. They don't. Because I bet you if she glows up on the date, I already know how this would happen. She'll glow up on the date. She'll put her makeup on. She'll put the dress on. Yada yada yada. She'll do all that. And let's just say she keeps wearing makeup. Well, I liked you better when you weren't wearing makeup. How come you don't go back to when you're not wearing makeup? And yes, men would wear makeup. Prince wore makeup. Prince wore makeup. It's that damn Kevin Samuels. He's the one that's like, oh, makeup is terrible. Women shouldn't be wearing makeup. They're hiding everything if they're wearing makeup. Please. Please.
I think a lot of men will agree with me when I say that is not the reaction that I expected. But I love it because what this shows is how much she respects her husband. Now, of course, before the women come in the comments, this goes both ways. So most likely this man has probably already done a bunch of things that day that have made that woman feel loved. And that can.
Why are you assuming this? Like, that's the issue. Why do you have to assume this in the first place? Why would you assume this in the first place? So can my boyfriend come with me to the nail salon? Because I can't, my hands are busy at the nail salon, right? They're literally doing my nails at the nail salon. So can I ask my man, hey boo, I'm hungry and it's time for me to get my nails done. And I worked all day and I slept with you, I did you real good in the bedroom or whatever earlier. And I want you to come to the nail shop with me and I want you to feed me food while I get my nails done because I won't be able to occupy my hands because my nails are going to be getting done. Ask a man that and see how crazy he look at you. Ask a man that and see how crazy he looks. Because that makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Contributes to her not getting upset about him not joining her for dinner at a table. But ladies, let's be real.
There are 24 hours in a day. There are 24 fucking hours in a day. You mean to tell me that the only time that a woman could bond with you is when you're bonding with a goddamn computer screen gaming with other men? And the only way for you to eat, because he's not eating with her. He's not eating with her. She's feeding him. She's literally feeding him. So what are you talking about? You're making it 10 times worse. He has no ability. He isn't making any time to actually sit down with her to eat, and she's feeding him. It ain't like he's feeding himself and she's sitting there in the back eating. You can't carve out, a man can't carve out a little bit of time or schedule his gaming at a different time to be able to sit with a woman that he's living with or she's a gaming wife. So that's literally her husband. Come on. Like, this is crazy.
Not just that. This woman, likely because she loves and supports and respects her husband, she doesn't currently feel the need or would she ever want to mother her man. This is honestly
She what was the scooping the food out of the goddamn bowl and putting it up to his mouth and feeding him. Is that not mothering a man? Is that not mothering a man? To give a grown adult, spoon him food while he's gaming, is that not mothering a man? You can't pause the game and eat something really quick?
probably the way that this man relaxes after having a busy day. And his woman knows this. She recognizes it and she wants him to have that relaxation time. So she finds a way to support it. I mean, the feeding of food, I wouldn't do, but this is support if I've ever.
So you just said yourself that you wouldn't feed him. And this is why I say these pick me, all this is pick me propaganda. She just said herself, well, I wouldn't feed him, but I support what she's doing though. But I wouldn't do it. So you're literally going to recommend that other women do something that you yourself wouldn't do. 100% pandering, 100% grifting to stroke men's egos, to make men feel better about themselves.
Seeing support.
My husband is an absolute genius. Let me show you what he did in our basement. Last year, we were finishing the ceiling in our basement, and we have these eye joists. We did not want a drop-down ceiling, but we did want an accessible ceiling. Like any other DIYer, we scoured the internet looking for a solution, but we didn't find anything that we liked. Until one day when this guy came up with a genius idea. He said, why don't we just cut pieces of drywall to fit in between each eye joist because the lip on the eye joist will hold it. My phone doesn't do it any justice, but this is the finished ceiling in our movie theater room.
The best thing about this is it's accessible. So just to show how it's accessible, these are just like panels, like a drop down ceiling. Comes right out of there just like so.
I love this because this is a wife that truly appreciates her husband. And you can just tell by the look on his face that he is just like being super humble, but he loves the fact that his wife is appreciating him and that she's showing him off. Like she's just so excited to do that. And that ceiling does look really good.
Okay, but that's because he actually did something. That's because he actually did something. So of course, I don't see you. Give me a reaction video of a woman putting her husband or boyfriend on camera for him doing something like opening up a jar of goddamn pickles. Oh my God, I love my man because he opened up a jar of pickles for me. Like, of course, a rational person would be very appreciative of that because he's done something that's worthy of you appreciating. Like, Emily, girl, you need to pick a side, girl. You need to pick a side.
Are men actually unaware of how we flirt with you? Because I swear, up until today, I thought this is the most obvious thing that you could do. Like, I wouldn't look back if I didn't want you to come over here. When they didn't, I was like, oh, they're just not interested. But apparently, my TikTok comments think that they just didn't know the whole time. They're lying, right?
Men are 100% unaware. That look is only going to have a man thinking that you're either giving him a side eye, or you're amused, or you're judging him, or you think he's being weird, or you're checking to make sure that he's not creeping on you. But what I can say is for sure, 10 out of 10 guys will have no idea that that is you inviting him, which is why I've said it before and I will say it again. If you as a woman are interested in a man, you need to go walk your leggies over and then use.
Not her calling our legs leggies like we goddamn 6 years old, but okay.
Your big girl words and tell him that you're interested in him.
No. In what animal kingdom does the woman, the female species, go up to a man? Like literally. Birds will do all types of stuff. Peacocks will spread their feathers. Spiders literally will get an insect and wrap it around in silk to provide for the woman in order to be able to mate with the woman. Even the male species do more to attract a mate than a man does. No, you going up to a man and approaching him first, all that's going to do is make him feel like he's the prize. That's all it's going to do. It's going to make him feel as though he is the goddamn prize. You're pumping up his ego. You are giving him validation that he has not earned. You're the prize. You decide who gets to come in you and who gets to come out of you, literally and figuratively. I'm not going up to no goddamn man and saying hi that I'm interested in him. They're drunk off the Delulu juice. I'm telling you that that Peter Whacker juice is all up in here,
Give him your number. That is
Give a stranger my number. So go up to a man, tell him that I'm attracted to him, and then give him my number so he can contact me. To give my number to a stranger so he can contact me and potentially be a creeper.
is being clear. And once you're clear with a man, if he's interested back at you, he will pursue you.
Are men actually?
The audacity that I have to suggest that a man.
I still stand by the fact that my husband is the ugliest man that I have ever met 5 years into our marriage. If you are single right now, it's because you want to be attracted to your partner, and that is just not realistic. I don't know how many times women on this app are going to have to say it. Find an ugly ass man and marry him. And I'm not talking about a guy that just needs a little brush up, okay? I'm talking about a terminally unattractive man. I sleep with an eye mask at night so that I have time in the morning to mentally prepare before I make eye contact with my husband. But here I am, married, and you're not. So who's laughing?
This is not.
It goes to what I said earlier. See, all of the I'm just scrolling through TikTok. What she's saying is the truth. Let's be honest. If we were to base marriage off of physical attraction, just purely physical attraction, most of us wouldn't be married because most men are not attractive. There has to be something else about the man for you to overlook his attraction. Honestly, this is the reason why a lot of women are like, I want money. Just give me money because your looks ain't gonna keep me around. This is why the Pookie and Ray Rays, the fine men, they don't need money because they can leverage their physical attractiveness. Most men are not physically attractive. So what she's saying ain't wrong. What she is saying is not wrong. And the men are all butthurt in it about in the comments, butthurt about it. Well, how often do men say, my wife isn't attractive to me anymore? Now that my wife's pregnant, she's not attracted to me anymore. I don't like those stretch marks. She's got wrinkles. She's old. Men have no problem saying that about you as women. They have no problem stating how you become unattractive to them. They have no problem leaving you for someone younger because now you're old and they don't like you anymore. They have no problem going to sleep with someone else and not sleeping with you because you're not attracted to them anymore. That's why they're all upset in the comments. And we're going to look at the comments.
Not what you think it is because your husband wants you to be attracted to him. He doesn't want.
That's not realistic most of the time. Just purely physical, men don't have beauty to leverage. That's just a hard, harsh, cold reality. And men say it themselves. Men always say, well, you only going to have that beauty for so much longer. You're only going to have that beauty. You're only going to have that beauty for so much longer. And don't men always say, oh, women have beauty, men have physical strength. Men don't say women have beauty and men have beauty and physical strength. No, men know that they're unattractive overall. Men know that when it comes to beauty, women are more favorable to look at. Women have soft skin, women have long hair, women have curvaceous bodies, women have breasts, women have booties. So it isn't like men have attractiveness to leverage anyway, most of them. They have to use something else to leverage in order to be able to be attractive to the woman. She's just bold enough to say the quiet part out loud. Let me ask y'all this. How many of y'all been out with the homegirls? How many of y'all been out with the homegirls? And you tell your homegirls, I got a new guy that I'm talking to, oh, well, let me see a picture, girl. Let me see how he looked. And you and your phone like, oh, shit. That's not a good picture. If I squint one eye and turn my head, he looked good there. Come on now. Y'all know y'all asses be doing that. Y'all know y'all asses be doing that, trying to look for the best picture possible for you to find to show your girls who this man is. And you're lucky if you got about 3 good pictures to show a girl where he actually looks good for you to be like, see, he cute. So don't be in my comments capping. Don't be in my comments capping about, oh my God, that's so mean that she said that. Y'all know goddamn well y'all over here panicking, trying to find a picture to see if your homegirl's gonna think he cute. Well, he funny. He funny, girl. So please.
I hear that his wife has to wear an eye mask in order to prepare herself to see him in the morning. That's wild. And it's not like the stories where the woman meets a man and she's not initially attracted to him, but because she gets to know him and his personality and then like things happen. That really does happen. But that means that she becomes physically attracted to him. It does not mean that she has to talk herself and mentally prepare herself to see him. And a huge part of why he needs you to be attracted to him is because he wants to enjoy husband and wife things, especially in the bedroom, and he wants you to be into it. And if you're not into it, listen up, ladies, because I cannot say this loudly enough.
Is she part man? Because pretty much what she said was as if she's part man. Because she's trying to make it seem as though women only get aroused based off of physical attraction with men. No, we don't. If the man is physically attractive, in most cases, he's not going to need much else in order for us to be aroused. But because men, like I keep saying, because men don't have beauty, men can't leverage beauty, there has to be something that mentally attracts you to him, that emotionally attracts you to him. Women tend to be demisexual. They're attracted to someone on a deeper level in order for her to feel aroused, in order for her to do something physical with him. So her just saying, oh, well, they want you to feel physically attracted to them because it's something, because of them wanting to do something in the bedroom, that's only like a very, very small component. If women were like men and we only base things off of physical attraction, our punanis would be the Sahara Desert. They would be the Sahara Desert because men don't have that to leverage for us to have to look at it as an important thing. She on PP1 instead of GLP1. Not the peptides. I'm actually on my way to order me some peptides. I'm hollering. Not you knowing the GLP1 and the PP1. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. We got a STEM girly in the house.
He does not want it. I might not have the energy to slide into this video because I'm recovering from the flu.
Thank God, because I was getting tired of your ass being Tom Cruise sliding in that damn video. Like, girl, you need a new stick, but okay.
It's been honestly terrible. But we need to talk about the man that wanted pizza on his birthday from a very particular pizza shop that was 4 hours away. Have you guys seen this video? What happened? He ended up going on a full-on trip with his wife and kids and did everything but forget this pizza. So I guess they came in on like a Friday night and they got to the hotel and then they just decided to eat something else. And then the next day they did all of the kids stuff, like everything that the kids wanted to do. And then for lunch, she ended up saying she wanted to have Paula Deen's restaurant because she's never been there before. They go to Paula Deen, right? Because that's what men do all too often, right? They sacrifice what they want, what they've been talking about, because you know what? People want to just say something one time that they want something.
So wait, I'm confused. Was this 4 hours on the way to the damn pizza place? What was this 4 hours on the way to the pizza place? Like where is the context? I'm so lost. So they drove they drove 4 hours towards the pizza place and then got Paula Deen. This story makes no sense. There's so many holes in this story.
One time, and it should be held in high esteem, especially when it's for their birthday. He had said, what?
You know how many men forget their wives' or girlfriend's birthday, forget their anniversary, don't know their children's birthday? I mean, I'm not trying to be one of them and like, toss it back on, but come on. We're not going to pretend like men are good for remembering every single thing on the dime, every single day, every single time for all the events, for all the birthdays, all the anniversaries.
What he really wanted. And what did they do? They didn't do what he wanted. They did what she wanted. This came at the exact right time for me while I was gone. And I want to see if it makes me look more alive, because
girl, for you to look more alive, you're going to have to go under the knife. Chow. That's the only way. That's the only way, chow.
I don't feel that way. So anyways, at the end of the trip, on the way back home, was when she finally said to her husband, oh, yeah, let's stop at that pizza shop now. That sounds good. Guess what? He was over it. I don't blame him. He was over it. He didn't want to go anymore because guess what? You did everything else on his birthday. And then you thought that just 1 or 2 days later, then you could give him what he wanted. It does actually feel great. I guess my point is, ladies, is that birthday celebrations is not a feminine thing. Like, guys want to.
So they still went to the pizza place. So the wife wanted to go to Paula Deen. The wife wanted to go to Paula Deen, and they have children. So what if the wife and the children wanted to go to Paula Deen? They still went to the pizza place. They still went to the pizza place. So because she wanted to go to Paula Deen, he couldn't get his pizza. So because it was his birthday, she couldn't do anything that she wanted on his birthday. Like what? Y'all went as a whole family. What about the kids? Does that mean that the kids can't do anything that they want because it's your birthday? Right. So he can only eat the pizza on his actual B-day, not a day after. Ciao.
Be celebrated too. They want to be able to do the things that they want to do on their birthday. And when they verbalize something like that,
why? My thing is this. Why would you take a family trip on your birthday? Why would you take a family trip on your birthday with your wife and with your children? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you want to take a family trip on your birthday? That means you have three, however many children that they have. That means you have your wife and your children. So you now have multiple people's feelings and thoughts and opinions that you have to consider on your day. That sounds like terrible planning to me. That sounds like terrible planning to me.
To you, like, you should prioritize that thing. That's all. Have a good day. This is just another unspoken expectation that a lot of women have for men. But what women don't realize is that it's actually filtering out all the good men. Because men that care about you, they want to keep you safe, which is why their natural inclination is to.
I missed that. What did I miss? What did I miss? Is he supposed to give her? I legit don't know what I'm missing here. She says your boyfriend doesn't know the booth rule in a restaurant. So is he supposed to give her the booth? These men have too much time on their hands. I'm used to dating old ass men. Maybe this is why. Yeah, exactly. Because even this, I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. Like, I really, really don't understand what it is that's happening. Let's go to the next one.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with.
No, we already watched something like that.
What are you gonna say about all the TikTok girls that are saying all these mean things about you in my ring?
That it's proving a point that men are the only creatures in this world that get no unconditional love.
Oh, I wonder what the original video is. So it must have been a tiny engagement ring that she received.
They're loved only the condition that they provide something for another person.
And like I said before, guess who created that? Men. Men created that. Men created money. Men created capitalism. Men created trading. Men created that. It's not that women only value you for the conditional things. This is the value that men placed on other men. This is the value that men placed on other men. Men told other men that you're supposed to be protectors and providers. A man told you that. A woman didn't say that about men. Oh, a woman never created that. A man created that. Like I said before, you can't pick what parts of patriarchy you want to uphold and what pieces of it that you want to abandon. Point blank, period. Men earn more money than women. Men are put in a predicament where money has a high value for men. So what are we supposed to do? Just because guess what? If he wants a nice car, if he wants a Porsche Carrera, he won't mind spending money on that. He won't mind spending the money for that. He won't mind spending the money to redo his whole garage, make a man cave, do all those things. So the money is always there. It's just they don't want to spend it on a ring. They don't want to spend it on a ring and then try to play the victim. Oh, well, we're only valued for what we can do. Whose fault is that? Because at the end of the day, unconditional love is a myth. It doesn't exist. Unconditional love does not exist. People do not get unconditional love. You don't. No person, man or woman, child, no one gets unconditional love. The only humans that get unconditional love are babies. And that's because babies are reliant on you for survival. But once they get older, once they can use their reasoning, your love to a child as a parent is 100% conditional. Because unconditional love would mean that you will let a person do anything. So unconditional love means you'll let your child commit crimes. You'll let your child disrespect you. You will let your child talk back to you. Unconditional love doesn't exist. Only things that get unconditional love are animals and and babies. That's it. That is it. And the only reason why animals get unconditional love is because they don't have any reasoning really. Their brain is wired different. Their brain development is different where they're not able to reason and be able to go that far for a connection. So of course, they're just doing they are existing out of nature due to what is already inhibited in them. So this whole unconditional love thing, no, you need to see a therapist. You need to go make friends. This unconditional love that you think that exists, you need to go see a therapist and you need friends. Point blank period. That's what all this, quit going to women thinking that we're going to love you for who you are. Be a good person. Be a good person.
That's sad, but I think you might be onto something.
There's really two types of women in this world. The one type that absolutely has to know how much money was spent on her engagement ring. This woman will either know how much you spent because she already had picked out the ring, or she will find out how much you spent either through blatantly asking you or just knowing the specs on the diamond. The other type of woman just wants meaning behind the ring. This meaning can come from the fact that the ring or the gems are a family heirloom, or through the fact that he finds something that really is fitting to her sense of style. For me, I'm simple. He obviously did.
That is like the pick me punchline. I'm simple. I don't ask for much. Whenever men hear you say that you're simple, whenever men say you don't ask for much, whenever men say that you're low maintenance, whenever men hear you say things like that, they already know you're a pick-me-sha. They already know that you're a pick-me-sha. Because essentially what you're trying to say is, I'm a woman who is going to make it very easy for you to impress me so that you don't have to try hard, so you don't have to aim higher.
A good job. But the thing about this second group of women is that they would say yes to a ring pop. When you get down on one knee, they're not looking at the ring first because they're saying yes to you, not the ring.
So if you're willing, so my thing is this, to the women that this is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me. If a man wants to marry you with a goddamn ring pop, does that mean I could write a check with love and go to the realtor, the mortgage company, and say, let me write out the check. There's a check with love written on it. There you go. There you go. You can cash my check. Cash my check in the amount of love. Now let's look at these comments. Women so badly still want to get married. Women so badly want to get married. Let's look in these comments and let's showcase the women out here who got married. Let me make this big so that way y'all can see. Okay. Where are my ring pop girls at? Almost 2,000 people like this. I don't know why it's taking so long. I bought my wife's engagement ring when I was 18, so it's tiny. 33 years later, if I raise the possibility of getting her something more substantial, she's ready to throw hands. She's a real one. If she says no because of the ring you picked, dump her immediately. She doesn't want a husband. No, she doesn't want a broke husband. I was broke when me and my wife got together, and I did propose with a red ring pop. Married for 8 years and counting. So them long marriages these women want so bad, all you got to do is just accept a ring pop. All you got to do is accept a ring pop, and you'll be married forever. My wife's engagement ring was a $20 stainless steel cladage ring from Renaissance Fair. She loved it because she unknowingly picked it out. I asked without a ring. When I got one, I gave it to her. My hubby bought mine at Walmart. Been together for 10 years now. It ain't about the ring. Oh my gosh. Look at this. My wife said yes to a paper straw wrapper that wrapped around her finger. My wife said yes to some small electrical wire I twisted into a ring. Yep, mine silver from Walmart. Been together 10 years. I love this is what cracks me up. I love how they have to justify how long their marriage has lasted based off the value of the ring. What is the correlation? What is the correlation between years in a marriage and then the ring that you bought? So I get to be with a person for 10, yay, I get to be with a person for 10, 20, 15 years as long as I get this ring. Like, this is why we have to quit. We have to quit awarding people for how long their marriage duration has been. We have to quit. We have to quit clapping for these people. The average engagement ring in the USA costs about $6,000. His midlife crisis car will cost him at least 5 times this amount. His man cave will cost 10 times this much. Absolutely not. Exactly. Saw a vid of an older woman who divorced her husband after 28 years. Thank you. These long withstanding marriages, they've been married for 20, 30, 40, etc. years, yada, yada, yada. Please. All right, I am going to go to her YouTube channel so we can pick apart the video that she made from a year ago as to why she will not get married again. The correlation is get a girl who will accept below bare minimum so she won't divorce you no matter what. Exactly. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so grateful for all of the love that I've been getting from you guys ever since my last video in which I announced my pregnancy. I really appreciate it. And so I wanted to spend some time today to put out another YouTube video just explaining more in personal detail a very common question I've been getting ever since announcing my pregnancy. And that question is, why am I not married? I had to actually sit down. I'm like, why am I not married? How do I answer this? This is a complex, very complex answer to what seems to be like a simple question, right? Because I think that, especially if you guys are in your 20s and it's like, you just don't have, I hate referring to this as baggage, but you don't have history. It's easy. Like life is very simple. And, you wonder why somebody at my age or anybody that is pregnant starting a family, why aren't you married? It just seems like a very simple progression to make and to get there. Well, things are not always that simple. So
I guess she's newly engaged. Yeah, because I know you said that before. That she was newly engaged. So this was from a year ago. But I feel as though with us realizing that she's newly engaged, that just adds a new layer of how we can clock her tea.
when I really sat down to think about it, that I feel like there's two different answers. There's very logistical answers, and then there's the emotional side of things as well. And it's kind of both. Like, I'm like, well, which one's the truth? And I almost was going to be like, well, the emotional piece is the truth, because if you really want something to happen, you're going to make it happen. But that's not really how life works. There is like a very logical way in which we make decisions as well as emotional reasons why. And I think you guys will probably really understand the logical, because I feel like men really understand that aspect more than the emotional piece. But let's dive in. Let's start with the logical. Part of this is because I was married. I told you guys that in my last video. For those of you who didn't know, I was married for 12 years to who had been my high school sweetheart. So we were actually together for like 17.
So that says a lot. She married her high school sweetheart. We already know how that goes when you marry someone and you met the person in high school. You get married very, very young, and then as you get older, you know, the veil gets lifted, the rose-colored glasses come off, and then, you know, you finally realize, oh shit, you know what I mean, this really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So that's the first thing. So that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense why she makes this pick me content, because she's always been a pick me. She's always been a pick me. She's always wanted to be with someone. She's always valued being in a relationship.
Years. So dated for like 5 and then got married. I was very young. I was 21 years old. Thought I knew it all, and was a hopeless romantic. I would still consider myself a hopeless romantic, but I definitely was when I was 21, and just did.
Whenever I hear a woman say that she's a hopeless romantic, I just all I hear in my brain is like, she's easy to manipulate. She's a pick me. She still believes the fairy tale of love. She does. She still believes the fairy tale of love. So, yeah, very interesting.
Did not have a full understanding of what life entails and what growth and changes really occur, especially through your 20s. I was separated from my now ex-husband in 2019, which really, when you think about it, wasn't all that much time ago. In 2020, like late 2020, is when I met my now boyfriend, and we've been together since. Though, this is the embarrassing part. Oh gosh. You know, like some people will get their divorces done super quick, and I can have like a whole list of reasons why my divorce was not done quickly. But the gist of it is that it was not done quickly. It was not finalized until 2022. Yeah, guys, it was finalized like a year ago. So,
God damn. So that means she never took time to be single. So she's obsessed with men. She is obsessed with men, essentially. So she literally hopped from one man. She literally hopped from one man to the next. She literally hopped from one man to the next, and essentially she's been married. She's technically been married while she was with the other guy. Exactly. So she was still married and had a child with another man. Exactly. God, I thought we were in a raging panini in 2020. People were dropping like flies. Exactly. Ciao.
That is a very logistical issue. You cannot be legally married while you are still legally married.
Okay, so the logistical issue was the fact that you couldn't get married because you were still married, but there was no logistical issue with you still being married and then dating someone while you were married and then having a child with said person while you were married. She's pretty and a pick me, which is what made her go viral. Now she has to stick with the pick me content to remain relevant. Clearly, most people hop from relationship to relationship. Not while you're still fucking married. Not while you're still fucking married. You at least gotta take She couldn't she didn't that means she didn't take a day to be single. I mean, goddamn. I mean, goddamn.
So that's part of it, I guess, if you want to argue, but again, we'll get to the emotional pieces, and I think that things in my life have just kind of fallen in place the way that they're supposed to. So, the man that I'm with, he's also divorced. He actually got divorced the same year as me in 2019, but he finalized his divorce within.
So essentially, that was a trauma bond. They met over them both having issues in their relationship. Yeah, Jessica, you clocked it. You did, per usual. You clocked it. Yep. So they were cheating. Yep. They were cheating with they were cheating with their spouses, with one another. And this is the woman out here y'all are getting it, women are getting advice from. This is the woman that's over here telling other women what they need to do, what they need to do to keep a man and to get a man. In the way that she got a man, he cheated on his wife and she cheated on her husband. That PP1 I'm trying to tell you.
Like 2 or 3 months. It was ridiculously fast. And so he was legally divorced before, like, months and months before we even met.
You can even tell in her eyes. Hold on.
But it doesn't mean that, like,
you can even tell in her eyes she is drained. I mean, she got married at 21. She's been married for 12 years. So what? She's probably like 35, 36 at this point. She looks older. She does. She looks older. She looks drained. She looks tired. She looks exhausted.
The custody stuff. So he has a daughter. So that was not, like, really finalized. It was kind of like pushed off in their divorce settlement, I would say. And he is still to this day working that out. And something that's very important to me is that when we get married, I for sure want all of our children to be there. You know, mine that I shared with my ex, and then his that he shared with his ex. I feel like it's super important for the dynamic to be set, and for there not to be, like, stress surrounding that, and for it to be a really wonderful, beautiful experience. And that is all I'll say on that. I don't want to get into depth because I feel like that is more detail about him and what's going on his side, and that's not for me to share. So let's get into the emotional sides of things. All right, I think that anyone that's been divorced will understand this, I think. Especially especially when you were like someone in my case where hopeless romantic, like even in the marriage, you just held this very strong belief that no matter how tough things get, you're married. Like that is your person for life.
So I had watched the video before I got on the live stream, and like this was a very, very important part for me that she had said that I had like really remembered. Because yeah, that's like top tier pick me. That's top tier pick me thinking. You are going to be there. It's your forever person. You're going to she honestly is just a serial dater, serial marriage person. So I don't know if this is her third marriage or not. Or maybe they were engaged that whole time. And so now she finally just got married. But that was very important what she said regarding her thinking like no matter how hard it is, she is going to stay there. That's going to be the person that she is married to. So my thing is that I'm curious to hear what she has to say that, you know, after 12 years, what was her breaking point? What was her breaking point after 12 years?
Like you work through things or you cope through things, like depending on the season of the marriage. But that was honestly broken for me when when the separation happened. Like my whole idea of marriage shifted. And I guess I shouldn't say that it broke, but it shifted, right? Because
Girl, it broke. It broke. Like, just be honest with yourself. It broke. The fairy tale, the happiness, the bliss, the perfect life that you thought it was going to be, you realize that it wasn't going to be that. And guess what? Because you just said you're a hopeless romantic, you clearly haven't accepted the fact that this is what marriage is all about. And so now you're going to get into another marriage, and guess what? You're a hopeless romantic. So now you still have that idea. You still have that idea in your head. So you're thinking that the second marriage is going to be completely different and better than the first marriage. Statistically, your chances of divorce increase each time you remarry. Same devil, different bodies.
Here I held it as this, like, up on a pedestal, like, should never be tainted, and I would not be the type of person that would allow it to be tainted. There was probably a lot of judgment on my part that I held towards others that had been through divorce.
So essentially, she didn't want to be the bitter old ladies, you know, what men want to call us. You know, you're bitter, you're angry. It took a man. It took a man for that to happen, and now you hate all men. And so essentially, she just doesn't want to accept reality for what it is. She's too afraid of what men. She's too afraid of how men and other people are going to perceive her. She is the type that looks at marriage as social status, children as social status. And so she wants to be able to wear that veil to cover up all of her other insecurities, because clearly she has a lot of insecurities. Clearly.
Had gotten separated. Absolutely, I can say that. But life lessons teach you guys. That's why I think that it is so important when you take advice from anyone, especially on social media. They need to have that experience behind them. So how do I explain this? Because
they need to have the experience, but they need to have also been learned the lesson before they give advice to other people. You're not a good person to get advice from. You're not a good person to get advice from. Why would we take advice from someone who got married? You got married at 21, and you said that you all dated for 5 years. So you were a teenager. You were with the same man from when you were a teenager. So it makes sense for us to take advice from someone who dated as a teenager, the same person, got married as young as 21, married for 12 years. I don't know why I said people. Married for 12 years. And then before the divorce was finalized, you already had a child, and you were already with someone who also was going through a divorce. You haven't learned anything. You took no time for yourself. You clearly have done no self-reflection. And guess what? The marriage that you get into next is going to play out the exact same way that the first marriage played out. The self-esteem is low. The self-esteem is low and in hell, just where men's standards are.
It was like my decision to go through with the divorce. If anyone looked up the paperwork.
So she initiated the divorce. She's the one that initiated the divorce. So how are you going to sit here and make content telling women on what they need to do to keep a man happy and to get a man and to fix all these things with a man, and you didn't even want to keep yours? You didn't even want to stay with yours.
It is my name that initiated the actual divorce papers, but it was not me that initiated the separation. That was my ex. So I was just the one that was trying to get it done legally, because there were a lot of reasons why I needed to get it done legally. And he was willing.
So essentially what she's saying is that he wanted the separation. He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to have the divorce happen. He didn't want to have the cord be cut. He didn't want the tie to be completely cut. So it sounds like to me, she wanted to break up with him, and he said, no, you're not going to break up with me all the way. So we're going to have a separation. And then she went on ahead and filed for divorce. He dragged the divorce out because he had to. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he was a fucking nightmare, and they were very codependent on each other. And she had enough, and so he wanted to stay codependent. So he drug out the divorce on purpose, and then finally it was finalized.
Willing to just kind of push it off and leave me with the house to take care of myself and the children for the most part to take care of. He was still seeing them, but
exactly. So he left you with the house note and the children because he didn't want to provide anything financially, essentially. So he figured you get the mortgage and you get the children.
Financially, it was kind of all on me. And so because of the way that I went through my divorce and the circumstances surrounding it, it was an extremely scary time for me because I felt like I was the breadwinner. That's kind of the dynamic.
I mean, she was the breadwinner. She was the breadwinner. This is literally if I was hiring for pick-me's, okay, if I was hiring for pick-me's and I was looking for and I said, provide me your resume, provide me your pick-me resume. She got everything I need. Her resume is strong. She got a strong pick-me resume. Very, very strong pick-me resume. So essentially, her content, my psychoanalysis on her content is rooted in her having a low self-esteem, in her pretty much wanting male validation, and pretty much her trying to sedate herself and stay deluded when it comes to male nature. And so she's hoping that if she's pandering to her future husband like she's pandering to these men that she makes content for. So she is hoping that if I do all this, if I do all that, y'all, she probably lead with this content when it comes to other men anyway. Oh, baby, look what video I made today. This is sad.
Dynamic that you guys might need to know. And so I was the breadwinner. I had my kids the majority of the time, although he shared a lot of parenting time as well because we did not have a formal daycare. All heck broke loose anyways in 2020. And then it did become me being the primary care person all the time just because I was laid off of work. And there was like a lot of concern for COVID and for especially the health of my son who has asthma, and he was just getting over like having a severe uncontrolled asthma with multiple trips to the ER. So there was a lot of concern that, him going anywhere else could potentially put his life at risk. So on top of that, I was being threatened with the possibility of having to pay child support to.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Damn. She wasn't only with a dusty, she was with a dusty demon. See, a dusty will just let you take care of them. You know what I mean? They'll just let you take care of them. And then once you don't deal with them anymore, they'll go mind their own business. This is what I like to call a dusty demon. So a dusty demon will make you pay for the fact that you don't want to take care of them anymore and be there for you. So she was with a dusty demon.
My ex. And that was very scary because it was sort of a temporary situation that we were supposed to be in which I was the breadwinner. That was not our dynamic for the majority of our marriage. It was just what was happening within the last 2 years because there was a career change on his part. And he was supposed to be, eventually doing a lot better.
So essentially, he sold her the dream of, I have this dream and I need you to build me up and I'm going to lead our family and I'm going to make the decision for us. And so she's like, okay, baby, I'll build you. I'll back you. I'll be there for you. You know, I'll take on the bills. I'll take on the mortgage. I'll take on all of this. And guess what? He used it as an excuse to be fucking lazy. And so now she paying all the bills. Once a man, ain't no man coming back from a woman being the breadwinner. I'll tell you that much. Ain't no man gonna sit and get comfortable with a woman paying for everything and then decide, you know what? It's time for me to start contributing again. It's time for me to start paying the bills, paying the utilities, taking care of everything. Once a man regresses and go backward, that's where his home is. That's where he's staying.
But he hadn't gotten there yet. So there was concern that if I had to pay, I would have lost the house. And that's why, guys, I have a lot of empathy for men that go through this situation where they literally cannot really afford the amount of child support that the state.
Girl, are you not listening to yourself? Are you not listening to yourself? You left. You're the one that left. You can't have empathy for men when a man did the same thing to you that other men are doing to other women to get them left. You left. So you left for a reason, and because you left for a reason, now you feel bad for men because the men have to suffer consequences for what they do to a woman to the point that it would make her leave. She's looking at this all wrong. She's looking at this in the complete wrong lens. She's too male-centered, way too male-centered. The reasoning makes no, it absolutely makes no sense. It makes no sense at all whatsoever.
That they live in requires of them, especially like when they have 50-50 custody and they're already spending a lot of money in order to have housing for their child. You know, like if they're having
the woman is going to be the main caretaker. A man, at the end of the day, you're a woman. You're not a man. You're not a man. So no man is going to be the main caretaker after a divorce. You're a woman. The only quote unquote empathy that you should be giving to a man is that a man's going to have to go from a house to a little hut apartment. But the kid, he's not going to be the one with the kids 24/7. He's not going to be the one expected to take the kids to school, go to parent teacher conferences, cook and clean for the children, know the children's allergies, take them to doctor's appointments. That's what your job is. You have empathy. You have false empathy for something that men are not experiencing.
Their child half the nights, then I'm not really sure why they need to pay for the other household in the amounts that most states require, especially for those that comment on my videos. I see a lot of cases in which it is very unfair, it seems.
No, it only was unfair to you because you were the breadwinner, boo. When you're the breadwinner and you have a child and you're a woman and you're the main caretaker, you're always going to lose more. This is what's happening with Journey Smollett. This is what happened with Journey Smollett. He's trying to fight to dip into her retirement and then ask for this asinine amount of child support. This is why marriage is a scam for women. This is why a marriage is a scam for women. And you still have women like this who don't even know the origin of marriage, who don't know how marriage was orchestrated, who don't understand that marriage is not created for the benefit of the woman, but the benefit of the man. She's still in la la land. She still is not aware. She still is not even aware of what's really real and what's not really real. A man would not have to go through as much as what she is going through.
That, you know, a man has to pay $1,200 a month, $1,300, $1,500 a month while they have 50-50 custody of their child. Okay, so with that all being said, there was a lot of financial stress, and I now became very cynical of marriage because of what I was facing in divorce. Again, I think that this can be very relatable to any of you men that have been through divorce, because you put yourself at this like real financial risk, and that's, again, that is so scary. You've pretty much have signed a document with the state, and they're allowed to dictate now how much your ex receives, and they get to have a lot of financial say in your life. And so that brings out a little bit of cynicism, unfortunately, in me. I think that that's just part of it. It's just a piece, right? Because I am very religious, and I think that there is
Another pick me, another thing that she added on her pick me resume. She's very religious. So she's a phallic worshiper. She's a male worshiper. Men can do no wrong. It's the system. Men created the system. Men created that. Men created the system of whoever is the breadwinner is going to have to pay more money. Your ex-husband did the bait and switch on you. And instead of looking this on a direct point of who you married and how that's reflective of who it was that you married and how that is reflective of male nature, you skip that and you want to go straight to the institution. Well, guess what? You getting mad at the institution don't change the fact that men are going to be men. You're going to marry another person and it's going to be the same thing.
A lot to be said for the importance of marriage when it comes to saying your vows in front of God. And that is nothing that I want to downplay at all. I think that for me personally, it's just a matter of getting those two things to the same place. You know, it's like resolving that cynicism about signing a contract with the government, and then, you know, what I already believe in religiously with saying vows to God and the importance with that. So, in what I think is that no one should rush into a decision like that, and it will come in time. I think that those two things will come together, and then the other logistical things will fall into place, and there will be a time in which it feels right and it feels like this is the moment. Now, what is linked to this also, questions about if this was a planned pregnancy. I don't know if I want to answer that right now in this video. I think
because it wasn't a planned pregnancy. It wasn't a planned pregnancy, but because she is religious, she 100%, is pro-life. So they had a whoopsie daisy. It goes against her views to, end that. And so, yeah.
I think that could be a whole nother video if you guys are interested in it, with me just spewing my personal details. But I would share that with you guys if you really are interested. We'll see how this video does. I don't have any harsh feelings towards even negative comments that come my way, because again, like, I get it. I was once in my 20s and I was judgmental for anyone that had even been through a divorce. And I would totally be judgmental also with anyone that was going through an unplanned pregnancy or a pregnancy out of wedlock. Totally would. But
so, yeah, she just told on herself it was unplanned.
I gotta say that it is so freeing when you get to the point in your life when you just do things that you want to do, that is that feels right to you and not just based on what society wants you to do.
Okay, but you believe in religion, girl. Yeah, so that was that was the video, where she explains her view on marriage. And so now we're able to have a deeper lens on who she is as a person in relation to the content that it is that she creates. Yeah. So that is it for today. Just really quick in closing, if you want to get some exclusive content over on Patreon, you can go on ahead and follow me on Patreon. And then also do not forget, I am doing one-on-one consultations. I'm still doing them. So those are on the weekend that I do. So If you're having any male related questions, if you are having any questions on, how to deal with rejection, how to bounce back after a relationship, after a divorce, how to gain your self-worth, how to gain your identity back, I do offer one-on-one consultations on the weekend. So please feel free. I have the link in the bio, and then I also have the link in just my general description. Also, I have a second channel called The Mystic Sovereign. I have a scheduled live stream on there next. So if you want to learn about Lilith, we'll be talking about the story of Lilith over on the other channel. That live stream is scheduled for 3:45. However, I'm going to go on ahead and go over there in the next like 10-15 minutes just to take a little break in between. So if you are subscribed to the Mystic Sovereign over on the other channel, I will be over there. And yes, Elisheva did a one-on-one with me. It was a really, really good one-on-one. I give you guys homework, okay? So it won't just be like a one-on-one consultation where it's just like we do an exchange and then type of thing, right? Depending on what the circumstances, I give you guys homework, I give you guys journal prompts, I give you guys book recommendations. That way, once you like leave the consultation, you will have things to take with you until you need to book another consultation or anything like that. So yeah, that is all today for my Sovereign Sisters. And I want to thank you all for subscribing and watching. 1 second, I will put the other YouTube channel. I'll put it in the box really quick, in the chat really quick, just so that you guys can follow me over there. There you go. And so yeah, I really appreciate you all giving me all the support. And like I said, for exclusive content, Patreon, and then you can also book a one-on-one with me. Link is in my just biography here on YouTube. And I will catch you over on the other channel if I see you there. And if not, I will see you all next time. Bye.